Hello, I'm going live today, or right now, while I'm on a walk. And I thought that would be really nice. So let me show you where I am. Can I change the camera? Here we are. This is just minutes from where I live. It's called Hilly Fields. And I've come out here to get some air and share with you a little bit about my story. My story as a self-healer, my story as a coach, my story healing trauma. I don't know if we'll get into all the nitty-gritty, maybe another time, but definitely I'm going to sit down somewhere. Oh, it's just started to rain. That's so funny. I'm still going to do this live. I just might need to perch myself near a tree. Oh, it's really raining. Okay. Where should we perch? Here, on this little stump. Awesome. So, I'll just show you again where I am. Here I am. Oh, hey, Martine. Yeah, I'm sheltering from the rain. Awesome. So I just wanted to hop on live for a bit and talk about my story. So where are we? So now it's 2020 and I no longer define myself as someone with fibromyalgia or irritable bowel syndrome or chronic fatigue syndrome or anxiety. Those are the main diagnoses that I feel that I have real personal experience with healing for myself. I didn't really go down the route of getting every single diagnosis, so there are potentially things I've healed that I just never got the name for because once I had the name fibro and IBS anxiety and all the medications and supposed treatments that came with that, I didn't really feel like a need, like chronic migraines, for example. There's probably a chronic migraine diagnosis, but I just didn't feel the need to go down that path of pushing for doctor's appointments to get the diagnosis, to be told there was nothing that could be done. So if we're going to talk about diagnoses that I've self-healed, then let's stick to fibromyalgia, irritable bowel syndrome, chronic fatigue syndrome, and anxiety. I was diagnosed with the majority of them in 2014. After years of being on wait lists, waiting to see doctors, etc. So the symptoms probably started more like around 2012 for sure. 2012 was a bad year. I was at university in my first year and I had a lot of different, I would call them traumatic experiences that led to a big breakdown. But it wasn't like everything was fine up until that point. It was like all the stuff that was still unhealed from childhood and just oh my goodness, all the things. And it's not to say that one must experience trauma to get a chronic illness diagnosis. That's not it. But my traumas led me on my self-healing journey and the diagnosis that I got. So I was diagnosed, told that there was nothing to be done, told that it was chronic and forever, and told that, what was I told? To take ibuprofen, different forms of ibuprofen, diclofenac, naproxen, different names depending on what country you live in. And that just wasn't good enough for me. It just didn't seem true. It just didn't seem like, how can that be it? It's not it. And so I was like, in my first year of uni, I had no money. I was a student, with all my traumas and stuff. I was in therapy. I had a lot of stuff going on. I was self-harming at the time. But I turned around to this doctor and I said, look, I've seen advertisements of teaching English abroad and I don't know if it's something I could do, but do you think this illness would prevent me from being able to do something like that? And he was really done with our appointment. He just wanted me to go. And he was just like, no, it'll be warm. Go to a warm country, teach English. Yeah, it could be fine. You're young. Seize the moment or whatever and get out of my office. And I was like, okay. And I left. And I'm so grateful to that man, wherever you are. I'm no longer an English teacher at all, but it was a wonderful period of my life. I guess I was an English teacher for 4 to 5 years. And it opened doors for me to travel all around the world and not let chronic illness chronic illness labels and diagnoses stopped me from living limitlessly, until teaching English turned into a limitation for myself, because then I found I wasn't in my truth. I still had chronic illness and I was still suffering, and I wasn't doing purposeful work that felt like it was in alignment with my soul mission and in alignment with why I'm here. It was like a stepping stone on the way. Absolutely. So I'm so grateful for that. All the countries I've been to and the places I've been to, the experiences I've had. And interestingly, when I think back, I met so many women along the way who had self-healed or were self-healing. But at the time that it was happening, it just wasn't really like, and I was a young girl, I was 19 when I started this traveling and teaching English. So it was just, I met someone like, oh, cool. Or it was a slightly different diagnosis, like Lyme or lupus or arthritis or ME or depression, or just another kind of autoimmune disorder, another name, another label, another doctor, another treatment, another medicine. And I'd kind of detach myself with like, okay, well, that's cool for her, but I've got all my own limiting beliefs why that doesn't get to be me. Isn't that funny? Like, I get to go and live in Maldives for a year. I don't have any blocks with that. I don't have can't afford it, imposter syndrome, can't do it. I can go to Maldives tomorrow, even in a pandemic. I'll go to Maldives. But at that time in my life, I didn't have that I can heal myself. I had all the limiting beliefs that why I couldn't heal myself. Like, I don't have time to do it. I don't have money to do it. I don't have the physical capability to do it. I don't know how to do it. I wasn't a practicing yoga student at that time. I only found yoga in 2016 and began a journey with yoga practice. And so that's kind of everything I've got to say about that, I think. So the self-healing, I would say I've been self-healing consciously since 2016. That doesn't mean it takes 4 years to self-heal, because there's no end point to self-healing. Self-healing is, in my opinion, it's like life's purpose. Not that it's going to take a life to heal fibromyalgia. It's fibromyalgia, and then it's something else. Like the body comes out with acne and you're like, okay, what's that? Let's look into that. Let's heal that, because I'm a self-healer. You're a self-healer. Symptoms are the body's way of expressing stuff. The body has to use this method to speak to us. And it's no different to when it gets excitement and it manifests symptoms of excitement. Like when you're very excited, depending on the excitement, you could sweat maybe, or you could blush, or you could, something else happens. You have loads of energy. Maybe you shake around. In the same way, symptoms of illness are the same. Like the body needs to communicate. The body needs to tell you. So while I would say like I'm healed, I self-healed myself, I'm not going to stand here or sit here and say to you that I'm never going to experience symptoms. Like, yes, I will get things like sinusitis or whatever, other infections or a headache or brain fog, or when I don't always stick to some of my practices that I like to do to maintain my health and well-being. Potentially I'll overdo something in terms of like my life is not balanced and I'm overdoing like gotta work, gotta success, putting pressure on myself, gotta get money, and that can put everything, out of sorts, and then I find myself with eye strain and headache. So like obvious, like come on, there's a bit of obvious, like you're gonna get symptoms here and there like every normal person. The amazing shift is that it's not I am experiencing pain right now because I have this label that a doctor gave me, or because I have this diagnosis, or because I'm chronically sick. It's, okay, my body is presenting this symptom right now to me. I'm going to explore it. I'm going to look into it, and I'm going to heal what it wants me to heal. What is it asking me? What is it asking of me? What is it trying to show me and like direct me and say, hey girl, Sarah, come and look at this. Like you're kind of going off. Like every time I go off topic in an area of my life, I'll give you a cheeky example. Men, things happen in my body, because my body's like, girl, we see you kind of getting distracted and kind of going off topic, off your mission a little bit. Like that's cool, have fun, but like come back, remember who you are. You're losing yourself again. Don't repeat that pattern. Really, my body speaks to me. Your body speaks to you as well. And so it's like, Yeah. How amazing. Our body loves us. Really, our body is our number one fan. Our body, we create our body. Body mind is a methodology I work with and love. And body mind is that in the same way, like, let's give you an easy example. Like, I'm imagining stress as like a mindset thing. So body mind. So stress, and then maybe the physical look of stress. What would stress look like if it was physical? Maybe it would look like a posture that's sort of hunched in some way, or like always like, I don't know. There's different ways so that depending on the person. So the body mind, so the body physically reforms itself, like the bones, like scoliosis, kyphosis, lordosis, the bones actually change depending on the mindset that is feeding the body mind. What we believe about ourselves, what we believe about our position in the world, what we believe we're capable of, and we create our body. Literally. This is epigenetics, this is neuroplasticity, this is all the things that I teach in my methodology as a coach and that I use to self-heal. So in a way, yes, so fibromyalgia or Lyme or all the things, anxiety, depression, they're no different to something like physical, like scoliosis, where you can physically see the spine has curve. And so what we can do when we're self-healing is just look at it at all angles. Like, why not? Like, be open. I can do some physical practices to relieve the symptoms. I can also look at my mindset about why I am creating because I don't really believe in physical and mental conditions, or like anxiety for me is just much physical. It's invisible maybe, but not really, because there's loads of symptoms of anxiety that are really visible, like hello, panic attack, and all the physiological symptoms that come with something like that. So I don't really see how it's not physical. But yeah, we can do the physical exercises, the physical changes, like physically changing the routine, physically changing some of the habits, physically changing the consumption, not just food and drink, but everything that you're consuming, right? Like on a more subtle level, what you are watching, what you are reading, the people that you're around. You know, they always say you're most like the top 5 people that you spend time with. So like you're consuming their limiting beliefs and what they think and believe about their positions in the world. So notice that and be like, oh, who do I choose to put as my top 5? Because I'm a version of them and they are me. We're all each other, right? So, I went a bit off topic there, but that felt good. So what else did I want to talk about? I wanted to talk about like arriving where I am today, because I can't really say that it was like this many months. It took this many months of work and practice to be healed, because I've been healing for all these years. But what I do when I coach in my group mentorship, the Self-Healer Society, and one-to-one, is I'm not going to let you take 10 years like I did, right? I'm going to give you everything I've learned, summarized up, give you the best parts, tell you the worst parts so you don't have to make those mistakes or get stuck for so long. Like one limiting belief that I can work with you in half an hour might have taken me 8 months to work through on my own. And that's the whole purpose of working with a coach. And I've sure as hell worked with coaches. I worked with my coach Erin 3 times. And every time I worked with her one-to-one, I had a ginormous transformation. Let me tell you about it. The first time I worked with her, I was an English teacher, qualified yoga teacher, terrified of letting myself be a yoga teacher. All the blocks and things, like scared to go out in public, scared to put a poster or flyer saying that I could teach yoga, scared to ask for money for my service as a yoga teacher. So what was I doing? I was teaching friends for free. I was offering for free. People would say, hey, I've got frozen shoulder. What can I do? And I was like, oh my God, I love that. Here's all the things you can do for frozen shoulder. And I didn't mind because I was practicing yoga as well, and like stepping into myself as a yoga instructor and finding my voice, throat chakra, energy. So I didn't mind all the free stuff, but I was getting to a point where it wasn't sustainable. Like, as a yoga teacher, I still needed an income, and I was moving further and further away from myself as an English teacher. It just wasn't resonating with me anymore. I started to resent going to school, planning lessons, cutting up, Christmas trees for like art class and stuff. And it just wasn't my thing anymore. So I worked with Erin, and she supported me in mindset coaching. I am a yoga teacher. Say it to yourself in the mirror. I'm a yoga teacher. I'm allowed to offer my services. Now, isn't that so funny? Because here I am now working with her a third time. And this third time is very interesting. We're not just doing like business stuff. We're doing everything because I'm like transforming my whole life on so many levels. And she doesn't have chronic illness, right? She's not that coach. But that doesn't matter. I know what I'm doing with the chronic illness stuff. I know what I'm doing with the healings. I don't need her support for that. I need her support every time I'm like limiting myself. And then she's like, Sarah, you're doing it again. You're limiting yourself. And that's what I then do for my clients, plus the self-healing stuff. Like, how cool to have a coach that not only is supporting you with all the life coaching stuff, there are a million, billion life coaches out there. My niche is to support you as a woman in healing. A self-healer. That's the whole point. Plus, what happens then when you're as you're self-healing and when you're self-healed? Then what? Like, there's got to be a point. There's got to be so that, like, what's next? And I'm kind of working this out in the coaching world, just being really transparent with you. We are kind of taught, or there's a thing to have your line. Like, I help women, so that they can, right? And I've got to, I help you with your own healing. Like, I help you unearth yourself as the healer. I don't heal you. I don't treat you. I don't prescribe. I don't, none of that. You are the healer. I healed myself. You are the healer. So that what? And then, we have all these airy fairy, you can live better, you can live well, you can live your best life. That's a common life coaching phrase. I help women so they can live their best life. Okay, but what is your best life? What is your soul mission? And as I'm working with clients in my group coaching program, the Self-Healer Society, and one-to-one, I'm really realizing that my niche really is the women in healing who are born to be leaders and guides in self-healing as well. And it feels so amazing to share this. It's no coincidence that all the women I've worked with one-to-one want in some way to quit their limited lifestyle and be a variation of a teacher, coach, leader, woman who supports other women, or maybe men and women, in healing themselves, in them being their own healer. Like, it's no coincidence. And we're not competitors. We are collaborators. We are of course, yes, work with a coach who is doing what you want to do, who is just 6 months ahead of you or 1 year ahead of you. Yes, that's the coach you want to work with. So if you are a woman in healing who wants to support other women in healing, or women and men, whatever your niche is, and whatever the methodology is, your methodology might be brain rewiring. Your methodology might be food as medicine. Your methodology might be, I worked recently with a wonderful self-healer, Courtney, who is here on Instagram as Healing Partners. It's that I'll write it in here so you can find her. Healing Partners, because it's pour like a dog. And so she had this amazing idea I hope she doesn't mind. Yeah, of course she doesn't mind. She's a badass self-healers coach now. She's going to use the container of training your dog who has his own or her own issues, just like we did when we were self-healing, to support the woman in her own self-healing. Yes! And I'm working with other clients as well who want to help people with anxiety and help people with this and that in their own ways. So using the dog relationship, dog training is a methodology. Brain rewiring, affirmations, yoga is a methodology. Maybe you want to be a tarot card person, a psychic. Maybe you want to use essential oils. Maybe you want to use Tai Chi. Or maybe you want to use I don't even know, herbs. All the, whatever your methodology is, I don't care, because I believe healing happens, and I believe that all the methodologies are correct and all the methodologies work. If your thing is this specific diet, even maybe a diet I have not even heard of or know, but it worked for you and it supported you in healing your labels and names that doctors gave you, and now you're like, I'm ready to step up in my truth, to step up and show the world that whatever, paleo, carnivore, vegan, I don't know, whatever works for women like me in my niche. Yes, come to me. Like whatever it is. And if you're like, I want to be that coach, but I can't see myself as a coach. I want to be a guide. I want to support. I'd like to have my own group coaching program, but I don't know. I don't even think I can. Any of that, please reach out to me. That was me a year ago. I have built this membership program single-handedly, and it took longer than necessary because I didn't work with a coach the whole time, because I had like time, money, limiting beliefs, nonsense. The money is there. The money will appear. I signed up to my coach this third time, and she's charging like more than I've ever paid for anything ever. And I don't have the money right now. I have enough to give her the monthly installments every month, but I don't have the full amount, the 6-month amount, right? And I had to think to myself, am I just going to stay all blocked and small? Even though I know she's going to support me. She's not going to tell me how to do the things. I'm not going to tell you how to do each and everything. I'm not a business coach, right? I'm not going to tell you how to get 50,000 followers on Instagram. That's not my thing. But I will support you in figuring out who you want to be, who is within you, what's been leading up to this moment all this time, like me and the English teaching and the breakdown and leaving uni and the traveling around, like it was all part of my process. Becoming a yoga teacher was part of my process, and I now use yoga teaching methodologies in my coaching. It was all part of it. Like, what's your path? Like, what are you leading up to? And I can support you in getting there. I can support you in sharing, opening up this third chakra, sharing your truth, sharing your voice, because this whole, let's walk and talk actually, because it stopped raining now. This whole like imposter syndrome of, well, who am I? I'm no expert. I don't know if I can. I don't know if people want to listen to me. It's identical. It's a repeated pattern of the self-healing stuff, because before we self-healed, or as we're self-healing, we had this like, can I really heal? But the doctor told me it was chronic. I don't really know. I guess I could try this, and it's just the same thing, but we worked through all that, right? Like, I'm speaking to you, women in healing. I'm speaking to you. You're already there. You're already doing it. Maybe, yes, you're experiencing symptoms sometimes, because like I said at the beginning, we experience symptoms. Yes, normal. We love our body loves us, our body is guiding us. But what you are now is you're awake. You're awake to the fact that healing happens. That's why you found me, that's why you're watching me, that's why you're maybe enrolled in my Self-Healer Society group coaching program, or you're thinking about working with me one-to-one, but you're not sure. And you're not sure what the point of the one-to-one is. I get that, because I'm not a business coach. I'm not great on Instagram with the whole like, this is what I do, and I'm really clear. And I've got other commitments and other jobs and other things I'm doing as I figure out this whole big transformation that I'm doing. So like, I'm not going to, like I said before, I'm not going to help you get 50,000 followers on Instagram, but I'm going to help you do what I myself have done, which is get clear on my niche. Not be afraid to show up on live. Here I am. I don't have makeup on. I don't care, because I'm not limited in all those ways anymore. Like a year ago, I wouldn't go on live. There's no way I would go on live a year ago. And you don't need to spend a year learning what I did, right? And if you're like, well, let's just think of an example. Well, Martina was here, and she works with crystals. So let's say I have a limiting belief that, crystals work for me. I love them, but I'm afraid that the world at large are not going to believe me, or they're going to think I'm weird, or they're not going to want to work with me, because why would they want to work with me? They could just buy a book, blah, 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 blah. It doesn't matter if your thing is crystals or whatever your thing is. There's going to be in fact, here's a tip. Open a notebook and just start writing down all your limiting beliefs. I think that this, and then just really look at them and be like, these are beliefs I've been choosing to believe up until now. They're not absolute truths. Like, people will think I'm weird if I talk about my crystal healing. That's a belief. Who's going to think you're weird? Some people, but you're not attracting those people. If you're a woman in healing looking to coach and offer your services to women in healing, you're women in healing who find you on social media, wherever, your website, whatever it is, your YouTube, your podcast, whatever, are you already your ideal client? And they're going to be like, yes, I want to work with you. Do you see what I mean? So why even get blocked at the, what if I trigger people? What if I upset people? The people who think I'm weird? Well, they're not for you. They're for someone else. There'll be another coach with another offering that's for that person, right? And we wish them well and we send them love. So, yeah, like I want to work one-to-one with women in healing, where women in healing who remember we talked about at the beginning that coaches tend to have this, like, I help this person do this so that they can whatever. I want to work one-to-one with women who they're so that, if it's just so that I can live limitlessly, do what I want, live well, look after my family, have a good life, be free from disease. Great, I'm going to support you with that. We're going to do that together. We're going to unearth the healer within you, 100%. And then maybe next year you'll work with me again because you will have evolved past the point of having this like symptomless life. What's next? What's next for you? Your soul mission, your alignment. It's not about business and money. It's about your gift to this world, your third chakra, your voice, yes, you can do all of that. You can be a great mom. You can look after your family. You can do all those things if that's your thing. But you can also be here on purpose with this soul mission, right? And you are allowed to charge money for that. It's an energetic exchange. Whatever it is. I'm really into essential oils now with doTERRA. I'm not afraid to talk about it. And if somebody gets triggered or upset about it, then like, bye. Do you see what I mean? The more you speak your truth, the more you share who you are, and that you are going to charge for your services because you have spent, how many years? Tell me how many years you have spent learning it for yourself. I spent 10 years. I'm not afraid to tell you. I spent 10 years learning everything that I can package up and teach you in a 3-month one-to-one coaching program. You don't need to spend 10 years. You don't need to go to India 4 times like I did and spend all the money, max out all my credit cards, take all the courses I took, read all the 100 books I've read. You don't need to. Like, I'll coach you in a 3-month coaching program. Do you see what I mean? And it's the same for you. Like, I'm now speaking to the women in healing who are also feeling they are in themselves some kind of leader. They are a coach, a guide, a born leader. Maybe they even find themselves like me. I was an English teacher. It's not all that different. Like, there's part of me that was always born to teach, right? As a child, I was the bossy one. I was always told off for being loud and bossy. And society, the agenda, my family, they just wanted to keep me small and quiet and be good. A good girl was one who was quiet. And I could have carried on living that limited way of life. And I bet my body would have just thrown symptom after symptom at me. Like, this is not your life. Your life is to shine, open up this throat, speak your truth. So I did. And I triggered a whole lot. I triggered my family. I triggered everybody at the beginning when I was starting to be like the bossy one. Don't even get me started on bossy. We're not bossy. Yeah, I was going to say we're boss bitches, but I don't want to swear on live. We're bosses of our own life. We're self-healers. Of course we're freaking bossy. We're organized. We know what we're doing. We're like literally transforming ourselves and healing ourselves. Like, of course we are leaders in some way because we are leading our body to health. So naturally for me, when I'm coming back to that, I help women self-heal so that they can. It's just coming clear for me, and I am intuitive, and I wouldn't call myself a psychic or anything like that, but I do believe in like messages, and I do believe I'm being told, and like all my one-to-one clients ended up being coaches and guides and leaders. I'm like, this is it for me. Like, I am speaking to you. I really am. You who feels like you want to coach other women, or you're not sure about the word coach, but you're like, there's something I want to teach. I've always been kind of bossy, organized, leadery, and I'm ready to maybe host a call or a workshop, or just to teach what I know to be true, what I have experienced from myself. I want to share that with paying clients because I'm allowed to charge for my services. So that woman, that I'm speaking to you, I really am. I've got some thoughts for one-to-one coaching. I'm so ready to give you everything that I've learned. I'm just so ready to support you, because when I support you, one person, and you end up getting 10 clients of your own, 20 clients of your own, a membership of your own, if that's what you want, with 100,000 people in it, I'm also helping with that. It's beautiful. My coach, Erin, who I've talked about today, she has 2 or 3 coaches of her own. That's the way it works. The charge that I pay for her services is less than what she pays for her coaches. And then those coaches have coaches of their own, right? So we're all like evolving. My coach is not in the self-healing world, but in her limitless way of living, she's evolved more than me. That's why I'm drawn to her. Like, teach me everything you've got to share about limitless living. I want that. And the same thing. Maybe you're drawn to me because you see me as someone who has self-healed, and you're like, yes, give me that. And because you're like, I also want to be a coach in some way, but I'm not sure how to navigate it. Or I want to teach, or I want to do something, but I'm not sure. I don't know how it works, all the logistics. Again, I'm not a business coach. But we can talk about the business plan. I'm interested in what you want. And I would just keep asking you over and over again, what do you want? Tell me what you want. And you say, I don't know what I want. And we're going to work on that. And that's why I offer 3-month and 6-month one-to-one coaching programs. And I will also say to the woman in healing listening, if you want to coach and lead others, you yourself are going to be open to being coached and led. If you yourself are only looking at the freebies, downloading the freebie ebooks, the freebie courses, the free this and the free that, you think of it in terms of energy. Why should then paying clients, pay you for services when you're not actively involved in that energetic exchange? So I'm happy to spend £3,000-4,000 on coaching services because my coach deserves to charge for her services. She deserves to get that money for her services. It's an energetic exchange. And I deserve to charge for my services. And you deserve to charge for your services. And in doing so, you're going to invest in yourself like I'm investing in myself, and so on and so forth. If you ask any successful coach in any niche, it really doesn't matter what the niche is. They all have a coach. And if they don't have a coach, then maybe they've just finished a coaching program. And if they haven't, or they've never, I wouldn't work with them. I won't work with them. So that is about everything I have to share today. My name is Sarah, if you missed that already. I have a group coaching mentorship program called the Self-Healer Society that's ongoing. It's monthly. But enrollment opens and closes. Enrollment is open now. The link is in my bio. You can join now. It's the lowest, cheapest, most accessible way you can work with me in a group container with other women who are self-healing and other women who are coming out as coaches and guides and leaders, right? How inspiring to position yourself within that container of health and healing and well-being. And it's not just about diagnosis and symptoms. It's healing on all levels. Just this morning in the private group space, we were talking about partners and intimacy and pleasure and allowing. Like, it's all the things. It really is. All areas of life. Like, I'm sharing a lot about my upcoming transformation of living in England to going and basing myself in Bali. And there's still blocks there. There's still fears there. There's still, can I do it? And go at my business full time. Well, yes, because if you, self-healer, listening, want to go full time in your business, that inspires me because here I am doing it too. Right? And it feels so good. So I'm going to be posting this on my feed now. And please reach out to me. The link to my bio to join the Self-Healer Society membership, the most easy and most accessible way to work with me, to have access to a library of 200 classes to support you in your self-healing, meditations, yoga, visionary life, like creating your visionary life where you are no longer the sick person. It's like a vault of resources in the Self-Healer Society. Plus, we meet 3 times a week on Zoom. We have educational classes as the first class of the month. Then we have coaching mindset classes, the second class of the month. And then we have like a Women in Healing Gather and Heal Circle, which is just a safe, sacred space to meet and to maybe we sing, dance, share, and just be who we are. And share, hey, I want to be a coach, but I'm scared. Okay? Say it. We hear you. We see you. We're holding space for you. Okay? And plus, obviously the private group space within the Self-Healer Society. It's not on social media, it's not on Facebook, it's within my membership society. It's totally private. It's only for the members of the Self-Healer Society. Okay, so the link is in my bio. That takes you to the landing page. You can read all about it, and you can click any of the buttons that say join the membership. That's the most easy and accessible way to begin working with me now, today. Enrollment will close in less than 2 weeks. And then I want to just focus on the women who have said yes to themselves. On top of that, then, as a one-to-one coach, this is really for the woman who is listening, who is so ready to supercharge. Yeah, you don't want to spend a year doing something that we can do together in a week. You don't want to spend more years in this job that's not working for you, or this life that's not working for you, or maybe potentially a life that is exacerbating your symptoms, and like you are self-healing and you're like almost there, you're like going so well, but then you have this stress because you're not in alignment with your soul purpose, and your voice is like, please. That is me. Reach out to me. I'm done with persuading. I'm not going to persuade anymore, and I would teach you and coach you to do the same. If somebody says, I'm not interested, okay, you're not my person. You're not my person. My person is out there. My person is listening. My person is drawn to me. My person is a woman in healing who has a truth to share, and she wants to bring herself in alignment with her soul purpose, her soul mission. She wants to live in harmony. She wants to share her truth. She wants to stop being afraid. She wants to live limitlessly. She wants to earn from her services because it's her birthright, and she just wants to finally be who she was always born to be. Like, you are on this path. You are arriving. You are arriving right now. Thank you for holding space for me to share. And I hope to see you reaching out to me in my DM. I'm so open for you. I really, really am. Bye.